Maposa at our Montrose studios, where we'll be crossing over a little later to give you part of the bulletin. But for now, let's take a look at the leading headlines for tonight. President Emerson Mnangagwa returns home after attending the 28th African Union Summit in Ethiopia.
A renowned Rwandan economist led the African Bank Economic Reform and Development.
Indeed, we profile Dr. Donald Kaberuka's vision and success in our I'm an African feature.
And our 2 men exposed for stealing from victims of a fatal bus accident near Beitbridge Lutumba tollgate. That report in our This and That feature.
Yeah. And now for sport, mighty Warriors receive a morale boost ahead of their Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifier double-leg clash against Angola. So those were our headlines, but for now, let's give you the news in detail. In our first story, President Emerson Mnangagwa, who is also the SADC chairperson, has endorsed the candidature of Dr. Samuel Munzele Mayimbo to the position of the presidency of the African Development Bank. We get more on that story from Joseph. The
SADC chairperson, President Mnangagwa, made the endorsement at a meeting held on the sidelines of the African Union Summit this Saturday evening in Addis Ababa. President Mnangagwa said the new leadership of the continent's premier development finance institution is being sought at a time when the world and the continent is facing numerous challenges, but equally greater possibilities and opportunities.
SADC fully endorses the candidature of Dr. Mayimbo. His vision for a stronger, more inclusive and prosperous Africa aligns with the principles of the African Union's Agenda 2063. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, and the SADC Regional Indicative Strategic Plan. In the work of the dire impact of climate change, the need to consolidate sustainable agriculture and food systems across our countries, enhance energy access, expand climate-smart infrastructure, as well as deepen financial innovation remain critical areas for our development bank going into the future.
President Mnangagwa further highlighted the key role that the African Development Bank plays in Africa's economic affairs.
The African Development Bank remains a cornerstone institution for economic development, regional integration, and poverty eradication in Africa. We are confident that Dr. Mayimbo's wealth of experience and a deep understanding of Africa's financial landscape positions him as a suitable candidate to steer the AFDB towards greater impact and relevance in meeting the aspirations of the African people of our continent.
The launch of Dr. Mayimbo's bid for the AFDB presidency was also endorsed by COMESA. COMESA Secretary General Chileshe Mpundu Kapwepwe spoke on behalf of the COMESA chairperson, Burundian President Evariste Ndayishimiye.
As President of the African Development Bank, this is not just an endorsement, it is a vote of confidence.
The aspiring candidate says he is ready to take over reins and ensure the bank operates efficiently and serves the needs of its members.
So as I join this race for the presidency of the African Development Bank, I'm mindful of the things that we must not do anymore and the things that we must do. We must not leave anybody behind, not our young people, not our women, not our families and relatives who are in underserved communities. We must not forget all of our countries who are in conflict or experiencing violence. And most importantly, for a development institution, we must not confuse business, the business of conferences and the businesses of processes and systems and procedures to progress.
Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema, who also attended the launch, concurred with the SADC and COMESA chairpersons on the importance of the Bank in African Development.
We're in a good space with this candidate. We're in a good space with the endorsement, gracious endorsement of the two regions, COMESA, SADC, and from here, the work has just started.
The candidate who wins the presidency race will be taking over from Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, who has served the institution for 10 years and concludes his term of office in May this year. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Addis Ababa.
Well, President Emmerson Mnangagwa is back home after attending the 38th ordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
This weekend, President Mnangagwa joined fellow African leaders from the 55 member states in the African Union for the annual regional grouping. As per tradition, the heads of state meet at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa, and their main discussions are guided by the situation prevailing in the region at the time, as well as developmental issues. Speaking after arrival at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport this Sunday, President Mnangagwa said one of the main issues discussed at the summit was the conflict in the eastern parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo, with consensus on the need for dialogue.
The main issue which we discussed, which I think was more critical, was the DRC. The Eastern DRC issues took center stage, and we all heads of state discussed about the promotion of dialogue in that area, and that both sides should be persuaded to come to the table and cease the hostilities and the dislocation of communities, especially in the Eastern DRC. I can say those are the major highlights, but the rest of Africa is okay.
The Democratic Republic of Congo has faced close to a decade of unrest, and it continues to face instability and chaos, with fights over power and resources. The killing of peacekeepers recently in the DRC by M23 rebels drew the ire of the regional and international community. Apart from the conflicts being tabled and discussed at the African Union this weekend, SADC, chaired by President Mnangagwa, has held meetings to foster dialogue and seek a solution that will bring an end to the conflict. The African Union Summit also focused on this year's theme, which called for reparations to be paid to African countries for past wrongs done as a result of colonization and apartheid. President Mnangagwa believes the reparations issue is not something that can be done overnight.
We discussed about that one, but it's a long journey. We agreed that we should form a platform where Africa must seek reparation from imperial powers. But that is a long journey. That may be championed by the regions, region by region, and then you coordinate. Because the impact of imperialism was different in different parts of the continent.
The summit also saw the election of Djibouti's Mohamed Yusuf as the new African Union Commission chairperson after he won elections held on Saturday evening. Meanwhile, Mozambican President Daniel Chapo paid a courtesy call on President Mnangagwa, the SADC chairperson, before he left Addis Ababa this Sunday morning. The two leaders met behind closed doors, with President Chapo briefing the media that their discussions highlighted the need for unity amongst SADC member states in tackling similar challenges that affect the bloc's economic development.
I'm glad because you know that Zimbabwe and Mozambique, we are brothers country, and we are here to talk about our relation, because you know that we want to have commitment about our economic relation, because we want to increase our trading, commercial things. We want to talk now about our commercial relation, our diplomatic relation, and our political relation. You know that we are in SADC. Mr. President Emerson Mnangagwa is the president of SADC now. That's why I think that's very important to talk about it. Mozambique and Zimbabwe, we are the one, you know. That's why I think that's very important to be always together. We was together during the fight to get our freedom. It was a political freedom, but now you know that we have challenge. Now our challenge is economic freedom. That's why I think that is very important to talk in SADC about it.
The African continent continues to call for close cooperation amongst states in order to improve the livelihoods of the over 1 billion people on the continent. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
ZANU PF, a Central Committee member who is also the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Muswere, says unity of purpose and true comradeship remains the guiding principles of the Revolutionary Party.
With enemies of ZANU PF trying to divide the party by purporting a rift within the Presidium, the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Muswere, who is also a ZANU PF Central Committee member, says there is unity within the Presidium and senior party leaders as there is consensus for President Mnangagwa to sail the ship of development towards the attainment of Vision 2030. Minister Muswere made the remarks during the launch of the Presidential War Veterans Fund, Presidential War Veterans Bore Drilling Scheme, and the Presidential War Veterans Rural Homes Scheme at Dewezo High School in Makoni West constituents this Saturday.
There is no noise in the cockpit. There is unity. Jamba munoti pane anoda president kudarika vanhu vari mupresidium. Vanhu vakabatana vaya. Vakuru vedu vakabatana chaizvo izvo. Hakuna zhowezha. Tiri kuramba tichitinha chikepe chedu takanangana nevision 2030.
Commenting on the proposed amendment of the Constitution to accommodate extension of President Mnangagwa's term of office, Minister Muswere said there is nothing unconstitutional about amending the Constitution, highlighting that Section 117 of the Constitution gives the Parliament the right to amend the Constitution. He said the success of the constitutional amendment is a foregone conclusion, judging from the support base being enjoyed by the ruling party.
Ndinoda kuti ndigadzirise imwe misconception kana disinformation iripo yekuti kuamenda constitution zviri unconstitutional. There is nothing unconstitutional about amending a constitution. Comrade guest of honor, takatarisa support yatinayo muZANU PF. Takatarisana ne resolution iri collective yatakapasa tese se member dzeZANU PF. It's a foregone conclusion. Takato wina chero iri referendum, chero iri the next plebiscite. I can assure you, comrade guest of honor, that we will romp to victory. ZANU PF is a colossus party with might and capacity, revolutionary capacity, to deal with any challenges, to move the nation.
Minister Muswere also commended the great works by the First Lady, who has become a beacon of hope for the vulnerable.
First Lady akazodai akadai, ndoda kuti ndikutaurirei my comrades. First Lady has done a wonderful job. Yes. And we remain resolute, yes, and supportive of her cultural, humanitarian, health initiatives and educational initiatives to support the growth, macroeconomic growth in our country. Toda kuramba tichitsigira First Lady vakauya kuMakoni South, muHeadlands, vakauya zvakare kuMakoni Central, kunoko vari kuuya zvakare kuzotibatanidza, kuzotibatsira zvakare muzvirongwa zvakasiyana siyana vakauya nemainvesta akaisa mari yakawanda. Toda kutenda basa riri kubatwa namai Mnangagwa takanangana nevision 2030.
Dr. Mswere highlighted that the issuance of title deeds is the last defining step towards ensuring that the land reform program is irreversible. Minister Mswere castigated party officials who rushed to discuss their concerns with the media without exploring internal party procedures and democracy, and urged the journalists not to provide a platform for reckless individuals who issue treasonous, inflammatory and defamatory statements. Kenya's Chifushi, ZBC News, Makoni.
And our shift our focus to Manicaland province, where government continues to improve and enhance the welfare of the veterans of the liberation struggle, with the latest being the Veterans Housing and Borehole Sinking Program. Let's get more.
The launch of the Presidential War Veterans Borehole Sinking Program and the Presidential War Veterans Rural Housing Scheme complement the existing Presidential War Veterans Fund, which saw the province receiving 150,000 United States dollars to support veterans of the liberation struggle to venture into income-generating programs.
Tichafara nemfande tichadopuwa kuti tite maproject edu isina chairi kuwedzera tine mufaro ngoti pezowedzera tanga tisina kwetaiona
kundolima badzi wotodzokesa mari yacho yotorwa nomwe profit osara nayo.
Ndafara chaizvo ndokuakirwa imba napresident ende project iyo ine kutenderera kumaovhetese ende panapa mvura ndaiwana ndikona kuita kurima zvendinoda.
The three initiatives are aimed at providing sustainable access to clean water and decent housing for veterans of the liberation struggle and their families.
Tiri kunzwa kufara nechirongwa chemaboreholes chaunzwa napresident kuma-war veterans nokuti nemvura comrade achaita zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana, magadheni, zvipfuyo nezvimwe zvose.
Zvinhu zvichasimudzira even GDP yedu yeManicaland nekuti muno Manicaland chinotisumudza agriculture. For example 20% pa GDP yedu yanga iri agriculture. Saka zvakureva manje kuti kana voisirwa mvura vakupinda muagriculture full time.
Special Presidential Investment Advisor Dr. Paul Tungwarara said the introduction of the initiatives is part of ongoing development efforts to improve the welfare of those who liberated the country.
His Excellency the President of Zimbabwe is launching 3 projects today in Makoni. Takabvumirana President kuti ngatiitei program iyi kumaovheti. Program iyi haina kuuya nekuti umwe munhu wagwauta paWhatsApp. Muruninzwa? Haina kuuya nekuti umwe munhu watuka president. Asi kuti wakaita mistake haana kuziva timing yekuti paakutonotuka mari yakutosvika ipapo haana kuziva kuti warasika signal. Allocation haina kuuya nekuti kuna vamwe vari kutukirira vachitaura zvavanotaura mumaWhatsApp. Hanzi nyika haitongwi paWhatsApp. Kwa hiyo mavoice enyu sei achingobuda pamaWhatsApp musingaoneki vanhu vacho. Ini ndiri pano ndiri kutaura live.
The Secretary for the War Veterans League, Comrade Douglas Mahia, urged the veterans not to be hoodwinked by detractors but abide to the party constitution.
Pakaenda msangano ubhuruwa ukagara pasi ukatenderana resolution yedu number 1 inoda kuti vaMnangagwa vapfuurire mberi nekutonga kusvika gore ra2030. Muwo veterani anenge ateedza gwara kana ateedza zvakatenderanwa nemusangano. Asi kana ndega handiwani simba rokuudza musangano nekuda kwokuti ndakaenda kuZambia ndikadzoka. Hachisi chiwo veteran kuti unomira pamusoro pechuru uchishoropodza utungamiriri wehurumende kana utungamiriri wemusangano.
The Presidential War Veterans Fund program has since been launched in other provinces that include Masvingo, Bulawayo and Mashonaland East Province, with other provinces also expected to benefit from the pilot phase of the Presidential Housing and Borehole Sinking Program. John Nandara, ZBC News, Makoni.
The ZANU PF leadership in Harare province have reaffirmed the ruling party's position on unity of purpose among party members, stating the common goal is for national development. This was said by ZANU PF National Political Commissar, Comrade Munyaradzi Machacha, at a cell verification exercise for Harare province conducted in Epworth this weekend. We get more details in the upcoming report.
We were verifying our structures in Harare, the cell structure, which is the foundational structure upon which all other more superior organs of the party rest. This has been a two-day event supervised by teams from Mashonaland Central and going district by district to call out the names of our members in the cell and ascertaining that each cell truly exists and that the members are active on the ground. So we are quite happy with the outcome of this exercise. The turnout was extremely good and the morale, the enthusiasm was high. We are quite confident that we have a basis, a foundation upon which to build a very vibrant and strong party in Harare province.
Kifamba donzo isu rekuti semusangano wedu ZANU PF tinoda kuti tibatane tigovaka nyika yedu pai pamwe chete. Kune avo chinofadza ndechekuti president vedu vari kugadzirisa kune avo vakagara regularization vanhu vachiwana matitle deeds izvo zvose izvozvo zviri kufadza vanhu saka bese redu remusangano rakura tinotarisira kunge tichizoitora Harare ino.
The Second Republic under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa is doing exceptionally well in terms of the developmental trajectory. And people are looking forward to the fulfillment of Vision 2030. So they were out in numbers to show that they are fully behind the party and His Excellency, the President, and that they are in the party structures and that the party is growing in Harare.
The ZANU PF provincial leadership has reinforced its position to support the call to extend President Emmerson Mnangagwa's term of office beyond 2028. More from our reporters.
At a ZANU PF inter-district meeting held at Dunota Primary School in Seke, Mashonaland East Province, the provincial leadership stated their support for President Mnangagwa and the Vision 2030.
Tinotera gwara remusangano saka tatirege vatakutaureshe kuti mhuri yese yamaonayo yairi pano vanotera utongi hwababa vaMnangagwa.
Provincial chairperson Comrade Daniel Garwe said the president has fulfilled his promise to provide decent accommodation to the youths as part of empowering them under Vision 2030.
Dimoni rekubarechiland baro rakatanga kubuda pano rikadyirwa mari pano. Mwari ndokuuya naMnangagwa tende mudinota munogadzira kuti vana vawane pekugara pano pavanovaka dzimba dzakanaka dzine migwagwa pane mvura pane mapombi ezvese pane magetsi pane mastora akanaka pane zvikoro.
The National Youth League leadership rallied the youths in Mashonaland East to continue supporting President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
Makuziva donzo riri kufamba navaMnangagwa. VaMnangagwa vari kuti hatisi kuda wechidiki anosara asina chaakabata kusvika tapinda mu2030. Nyaya yatiri kutaura nayo nyaya yemwedzi 24 months chete dzitaurwa nezvadzo. Saka vari kuti tiri kuda kuti wechidiki patinopinda mu2030 unenge une chawakabata. Chandoda kunyanya kutenda ndechekuti ndanzwa kuti kuno kuMashonaland East Province mushure mekunge tabva kuconference yedu yatakaita gore rakapera kuBulawayo Province uko kwatakanowirirana nyika yose maprovince ose ari 10 kuti president vedu baba vaMnangagwa tichange tinavo vachitonga kusvika 2030. Muri kuti aiwa isu kuno kuMashonaland East Province hatinazve mumwe president watinoziva kusara kwaMnangagwa.
There have been nationwide calls for President Mnangagwa to stay until 2030 to oversee implementation of key programs designed to usher the country into an upper middle income society by 2030.
The inter-district meeting held at Neuso Shopping Center in Mondoro Mbare saw party members imploring President Emmerson Mnangagwa to extend his term in office from 2028 to 2030 to see through the attainment of his vision. The endorsement comes on the back of an inclusive development agenda being implemented by the Second Republic, which also prioritizes rural transformation.
Maprogram ari kuiswa na president ari kutibatsira zvakanyanya ende tiri vanhu tiri kugutsikana nekubatsirwa kwatiri kuita.
Tave nezvikoro vana vedu vakudzidza pasvika pinde mhepo pavasinganayiwe. Rodhidzi baba tave kufamba zvakanaka.
ZANU PF Mashonaland West chairperson Comrade Mary Muliswa Chikoka and the local party leadership called for unity of purpose in the implementation of the party's resolutions.
Isu tiri kupiwa zvekuti tigone kuzvibatsira nzira dzakanaka dzokuti kana takunotengesa kuHarare tinenge ichienda zvakanaka. Saka izvozvo zvatiri kuti ngatiregei vari muofisi vanyatsowana nguva yekuti zvido zvavari kuda kuita nemadanha avari kuda kutiitira vaite.
Yesterday we received chickens, 4,000 beds. The last week we received rice coming from the president himself. He has pledged to us through his minister, Honorable Torraimo, to build a new school in the constituency because our schools are dilapidated and there's serious infrastructure rehabilitation going on in the constituency. And there's excitement amongst our people. So when we spoke of 2030, they were more than happy to say this is the way to go.
Meanwhile, members were urged not to misuse social media, with the party revealing that a social media policy is on the cards.
The death of a 33-year-old man in Mofakose in a suspected murder case has raised concern within the suburb as residents blame drug and substance abuse for the violent crimes that have been recorded in the area within the last 2 weeks. Festes Mukunkurute gives us the report.
Barely a week after a man from Mofakose suburb allegedly murdered his mother in cold blood, 33-year-old Mike Salimon from the same neighborhood was stoned to death by his colleague near the Lighton flyover on Thursday following an altercation over the day's earnings which they had received as commuter omnibus tolls. A wave of violent crimes has dominated the headlines in the high-density suburb as residents blame drug lords for contaminating their area.
Komana wekumuponda yange iri shamwari yake vegara naye. Saka tozoshamisika ndakutofonera kunzonzi Mike ari kunzi atemwa nezvidhina kuflyover nemari dzaifanira kunge vachigovana. Saka I think havana kuwirirana panyaya dzemari because aifanira kubudisa $4.50 $4.50 pamunhu. Shamwari yake ikatoda $5. Saka ndo paanozonzi akarohwa nechidhina pamberi, akarohwa nechidhina pasaidhi achibva afira ipapo.
Muno Mofakose tiri kuti no drugs, taneta nemadrugs, taneta navo vanhu vemutoriro. Vamwe vana vari kutofamba vasina kupfeka ende ukafamba ukabva panapa manheru kusvika apo pamuri kuona pane zimutiro. Ausvike unenge watotorerwa foni, waita kana usina foni waita kunge uchatorerwa hembe. Vana vacho vakuita kunge vakupenga vasisina kana respect mudzimba muna namai hapasisina kana respect.
Zuva iroro akaenda kuno kwaakanofa kwacho akatopfuura nepabasa pedu. Akatomhedurwa samusa nemukomana ravo ndiye sawira wake uyu. Kana zviri zvemutoriro nachizva ita kuti afika. Toda kutomboti pambobatwa basa hombe.
Kana vane maorganization akure drug campaign ka ndikumbura mupinda munzvimbo yeMufakose.
Residents in Mfakose are fearing the worst and are calling on authorities to clamp down on drug peddlers selling the illicit substances within their community. Festus Mkongoro says ZBC News, Harare.
Government and environmental experts are joining forces to combat degradation of wetlands with a call to action for communities to actively participate in conservation programs.
Zimbabwe is stepping up preparations to host the 15th meeting of the Conference of Parties to the Convention on Wetlands COP15 in Victoria Falls this July, one of the important meetings that will bring together nations to focus on ways of preserving the natural ecosystems. At the belated World Wetlands Day commemorations held at Lake Chivero this Friday, government reinforced the importance of wetlands conservation, stating that this should be a collective responsibility.
As we march towards Vision 2030, the restoration of wetlands must be a key pillar in the creation of sustainable environment. Wetland restoration is not only about environmental preservation, but also ensuring the stability of our economies, particularly in regions where communities rely on services of the wetlands.
Environment Management Agency, Mashonaland West Provincial Manager Dr. Kingston Shtotombe said uncontrolled human settlements are affecting wetlands conservation.
We still have a challenge in terms of encroachment of residential properties into wetlands. But we are having a number of local authorities that are coming on board, and before they plan their residential areas, they always consult us.
Zimbabwe has 7 Ramsar sites which are wetlands of international importance that are Victoria Falls, Drainfontein Grasslands, Midu Zambezi or Romana Pools, Lake Chivero, Monavale, Chinoi Caves and Cleveland Dam. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Norton.
The Angolan ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Agostinho Tavares da Silva Neto, has commended the Southern African Development Community's efforts to enhance the regional peacekeeping agenda.
A total of 30 participants drawn from SADC member states graduated in Harare this Friday after successfully completing the SADC Integrated Train of Trainers course in peace support operations. Guest of honor at the event, Angolan ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Agostinho Tavares da Silva Neto, applauded the region's commitment to effective peace support operations.
Allow me to take this moment to applaud the member states for their commitment to the aspirations of the region by sending dedicated and capable individuals to participate in this training. You have reaffirmed your commitment to peace, security, and stability in the region.
The primary objective of this course was to enhance the knowledge, skills, and expertise of our trainers, equipping them with the necessary tools to effectively support and lead training programs for peace support operations within their respective countries.
Participants noted that the knowledge gained guarantees success in future missions.
Previously, we had different training capabilities, but then these capabilities have been harmonized, meaning now we'll be able to discharge our duties easily and also effectively.
This course, it was very informative course with a big magnitude of very good facilitators and trainers, which has given us a very inside information about the peacekeeping.
The course was attended by members of the uniformed forces and civilians. Festus Mkongoro says ZBC News, Harare.
We are streaming live on our Facebook page. If you're watching from Bulawayo, we're crossing over to you now, where Sibukele Maposa is on standby to give us more news. Sibukele, good evening. It's over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Terry and Leanne. Good evening, Zimbabwe. We now carry on with the news from our news desk, starting off with a story on the Zimbabwean youths that have been urged to remain united in defending the country's revolution as we move toward Vision 2030.
With the National Youth Day fast approaching, youths have been urged to embrace government programs such as the National Youth Service. The call was made this Saturday in Bulawayo, where the message for Bulawayo province to host the day was delivered by Comrade Tsungai Makumbe, who is the ruling party's national political commissar in the Youth League.
Kuti 21st movement ilimuno Bulawayo province Kaberuka stadium muno Bulawayo.
ZANU PF Bulawayo province youths vowed to defend the 2030 national vision.
I want to assure you that Bulawayo province is very solidly behind our president Mnangagwa. And we are going to fight tooth and nail to defend our party and our president, especially the resolution 1 of 2024.
If people pronounce an idea, which as a party, this is what we want, at a conference or congress, from there, every member of the party is bound by that resolution. Then, party ngala 21st movement ingala youth lingekolina, that means inkululeko yethu iyaphela khona bese iyaphelela khona libuyele nalibe enslaved ngamakhiwa. We stand together as young people. The future of our country is embedded on your responsibility and on your shoulders.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa is expected to lead proceedings at the National Youth Day in Bulawayo.
While another youth making strides, the local board of the Hwange has appointed a new council chairperson after a special council meeting which was held on Thursday.
The unanimous decision to appoint Councillor Peterson Ncube as new chairperson for the Hwange local board follows months of uncertainty and alleged misconduct that had greatly impacted the efficiency of service delivery by the local authority, according to Town Secretary Mr. Ndumiso Mdlalose.
Council sat in a special meeting and they decided that they needed to review committees, standing committees, and change them, apparently because they felt that the committees were not delivering. The changes were not only restricted to committee chairpersons, but it also included the change in the leadership of the council, that is the chairman. The feeling of councillors generally was that they were not getting the leadership that they needed, proper leadership to drive the council forward.
According to the newly appointed chairperson, priority will be to improve service delivery to residents while also unlocking asset value for the town.
We want to be the best run small local authority. Of course, with the ambition to grow, but first we need to consolidate what we have perfected and then seek to grow beyond what we are now. So in that pursuit, we are looking at a lot of assets whose value can unlock and then beneficiate and use the resources to grow our town.
The axe fell on Triple C's Morrison Mafa, with all councillors from both sides of the political divide concurring that the resolution is for the best of the town and its residents.
Government says it remains committed to ensuring access to healthcare services for all, hence the establishment of more clinics. This came out during a tour of the newly established Murerekwa Clinic in Zaka.
Murerekwa Clinic in Zaka is among many healthcare facilities established by the government under the devolution program. This Friday saw government officials and community leaders touring the healthcare center, with the Ministry of Health and Childcare committing to ensure the facility starts functioning within the shortest possible time.
Tasvika pano panonzi pafomaira pane yatinoti state of art health institution panova pacharapwa vanhu munguva diki iri kutevera. Titende avo varunga chirongwa icho chekuti tatanga kurapira vanhu panze pechipatara, asi chinangwa chedu chiri chekuti vanhu vauye varapwe mukati mechipatara vachiona kubata kwemabasa ababa Mnangagwa.
Community leaders appreciated the Second Republic for establishing more healthcare centers, including in remote areas.
President vanoda development. Zvatai promisa vabereki
kuti ini mukandivhotera kliniki ichavhurwa, ini mukandivhotera muchawana mvura, muchawana mbeu, muchawana zvinhu zvose zvataitaura. Ndo zvatinofanira kufamba nazvo. Kana iwe uriwo musangano weZANU PF ukawanikwa uchivhiringidza development, hatichazivi kuti unenge wakavhoterwa here kana kusarudzwa navanhu.
Kuungana kwaita vanhu kwatibetsera kuti tatane nguva midhuri iyi yavakwa pasina chiri kushanda. Saka kuungana kwaita vanhu pagungano nanhasi kwazita kuti vanhu vaonesana kuti aiwa ruvako rwavapo, ngatitsvaga nzira dzokuti chipatara chidii chichishanda. Zvazova zvaonekwa tikapuwa muono wakanaka naminista zvazotipawo gwara, saka isi tinofara nazvo kuti chipatara chadadi chaakuzoshanda.
Meanwhile, a medical health expo hosted at Murerekwa Clinic saw community members receiving medical attention, while others, including youth, received nurse aid training. Ms. Matina, ZBC News, Zaka.
And now in our Amin African feature, we shine the spotlight on Donald Kaberuka. His vision for economic reform and development in the African continent earned him recognition, leading to his appointment as the president of the African Development Bank in 2005. In our Amin African feature, we profile prominent Rwandan economist, Dr. Donald Kaberuka, a towering figure in the discourse of African development and integration. Let's hear more.
The name Donald Kaberuka is synonymous with economic rejuvenation and innovative thinking. Dr. Kaberuka's work from finance to governance and development embodies a steadfast commitment to the continent's progress, earning him international recognition. His career began in the Rwandan Ministry of Finance before he later became the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning. Dr. Kaberuka's leadership was instrumental in post-genocide Rwanda, focusing on economic recovery and rebuilding the nation. His vision for economic reform earned him recognition, leading to his appointment as the president of the African Development Bank, AFDB, in 2005. He initially served as an advisor before ascending to the role of AFDB president, a position he held from 2005 to 2015. Dr. Kaberuka's tenure marked a turning point for the institution and, by extension, for the African continent. Under his leadership, the AFDB focused on infrastructure development, regional integration, and boosting private investment in critical areas identified as essential to Africa's growth. One of Dr. Kaberuka's key initiatives was promoting regional integration as a way of spurring economic growth. He championed the African Continental Free Trade Area, which aims to create a single market for goods and services across the continent. His advocacy for partnerships and collaboration among African nations underscored Dr. Kaberuka's belief that unity is essential for overcoming shared challenges. He currently serves as the chairperson and managing partner of Southbridge, a Pan-African financial advisory and investment firm. Dr. Kaberuka is also the African Union High Representative for the Peace Fund and Financing Union. In 2017, Dr. Kaberuka was nominated to chair the panel on the third external evaluation of the International Monetary Fund. He is currently board chair of the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria, several other advisory boards. He has served on numerous international platforms, including the G20 and the United Nations High-Level Panel on Financing for Development. Dr. Kaberuka, who was educated at universities in Tanzania and Scotland, holds a PhD in economics from Glasgow University. He remains a pivotal figure in the discourse of African development. His journey from the challenges of a post-genocide Rwanda to leading one of Africa's foremost financial institutions is a testament to his resilience and vision. As Africa continues to navigate complex economic landscapes, Dr. Kaberuka's legacy and ongoing influence will undoubtedly shape the path towards sustainable development and regional cooperation in the years to come.
And that concludes the segment. I am Sibigela Maposa. The Sunday edition will now take a break, returning with more news. Don't go away. Cheers.
of genius. Introduce the stroke of genius. Oh, Zimbabwe yakuzosimuka manje. Stroke of genius andiri kureva chera. President ED Mnangagwa vari kupa bankable, registrable and transferable title deeds na every farmer akapuwa munda pa land reform program. Takanga takapuwa minda asi takanga tisina simba rekupinda mumabhengi semama business kuti tipewo maloni akachipa tatakuwara nezvimbazo man. Zvino ne-stroke of genius yekupuwa matitle deeds tikupinduka mubhengi sevamwe totopuwa maloni takutodevelopa mafamu.
Saka kuduza kuti land eseyatone
ende ukapuwa title deed iroro chera mundu wako uchatoreki yatova nhaka yevazukuru nevazukuru ndo zvinoda fama manje izvozvo security of tenure.
Iwe pandiri panapa ndakutokwanisa kutopa vana nhaka kuti chidimu chako ichi chemunda chidimu chako ichi
exactly
zvichifambiswa sei.
President ED Mnangagwa igenius manje vakabva vati kuti zvinyatsofamba negwara rakatwasanuka zviri transparent ndobva vagadza inonzi Land Tenure Implementation Committee iri kushanda nemumapazi ehurumende.
But iwo unozviziva iwo kuti kune maland barons akazara ukanopamba minda dzevanhu.
Dai vatoregera zvavo ndiwo kopo usiri kudiwa naPresident Mnangagwa iroro. Ndosaka Land Tenure Implementation Committee yakati ngatishandisei ma-ID numbers, number dzepachitupa kuti munhu haakwanisi kuva nemafamu maviri. Plus Land Tenure iyi committee haisi kupa minda pachayo. Iri kutwasanudza pakupiwa kwema-title deeds.
Iwe saka zvichida kuti tato protected kase mavarimi.
Exactly manje.
President
ukaziva kuti une stroke of genius here. President ED apa vasikira vana veZimbabwe upfumi.
Have you heard about Marechera? Hanziko. But he says keeper. Shakuyendeka. They say he has this glow about him now. He doesn't walk. He glides.
I heard he has got people who iron his money.
But have you heard that when he coughs, money just comes out of the blue? Out of the orange.
Hey, yo.
Marechera. Says Keeper, Shakuyendeka. Introducing the new Mukuru wallet.
My family has come a long way from when we started out in Mutoko. We've paid off the stand in town and built our own place. Our family is growing. But I guess some things don't change.
It's fun.
My mom used to bath me just like this. New Aura Beauty Soap for skin that glows. From the House of Zimgold.
Welcome back and many thanks to Sibukele Maposa who gave us part of the bulletin from our Montreux studio. Taking it up now from the capital in a rather disturbing story. 2 men have been exposed for stealing from the dead in the recent accident involving an urban connect bus that claimed 25 lives. Let's hear more.
Their hearts are so cold, even the devil will be shocked. Their lust and greed knowing no limit as they searched through dead bodies for valuables. These are the faces of the criminals who prowl the highways seeking such devastating incidents to fulfill their insatiable appetite for crime.
Kuchema ngobadziwa tisakadai so tikutochema hapana kana tikutochema mazai ndo zangoitika so tori kutomira order ichite zviri kubva kuHarare
kuti tingonotengesa unotora malusilusi ya
Death does not frighten them and they are not ashamed of their actions. Theirs is a courage doctored through the gates of hell. Authorities are equally worried over incidences of people taking advantage of accident victims.
Paitika njodzi panzvimbo yekuti tibatsire
vakuwara tiburitse vatisiya unoona munhu akuzvibatsira nekuvhura mabhegi evanhu achipa mari hahusi unhu hwevana vezimbabwe handidzo tsika dzatakasiyirwa nemadziteteguru edu vana mbuya nehanda vana sekuru lobhengula vana kaguvi nevamwe vakadaro handizvo handidzo tsika
dzatadaatombomira pamedia vanhu vaakutumira mapikicha vachirakidza nyamba iwe unenge waparadzana nemudiwa wako nemudikani wako usina kuziva kuti ndozvaawira wotozoona zvaakufamba pasocial media. Handingazive kuti ndingayambire sei mhuri yeZimbabwe kuti dai taitawo mutsa wokuremekedza vafi, mutsa wokuremekedza vanenge vakuwara panjodzi.
25 people died while 43 were injured after an urban connect bus collided head-on with a haulage truck near Lutumba toll gate in Beitbridge this Thursday. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
Surely we can do better as a community, just remembering how sacred life is. Moving on to the next segment, which is Sunbees. Now, the creation of a competitive national landscape to attract global investors will be high on the agenda as the government meets the private sector and investors in Bulawayo this week. Stanley James gives us more.
The inaugural National Competitiveness Indaba will be held this week in Bulawayo, with government officials, global investors, the private sector, academia and economic experts are expected to attend. There is optimism the Indaba will focus on addressing challenges hindering growth of industry and commerce.
This summit is an inaugural summit which seeks to bring together policymakers, industrialists and businesses in Zimbabwe to discuss and interrogate the competitive environment in Zimbabwe, to look at the regulations, to look at the policies that are affecting business growth and economic growth on the competitiveness side in Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe is also expected to learn from other economies in terms of their approach in fostering a favorable business climate.
We are hoping to have leading industrialists and ministers, and also we have business people that are going to be airing their sentiments on exactly what is affecting them on productivity issues and competitiveness. We have also lined up an international speaker of repute, Professor Kapoor, who is actually from the Indian Competitiveness Institute. He has done a lot of work on competitiveness.
Resolutions at the forum are expected to help government in fine-tuning or refining current business growth measures. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Stanley James there putting a cap on Sunbiz. In the heart of Victoria Falls, a groundbreaking initiative is transforming the way we perceive plastic waste, addressing a critical threat to both wildlife and the environment. Let's hear more in our Science and Tech feature tonight.
Imagine wild animals such as elephants ingesting plastic, people burning plastic waste, contributing to air pollution and global warming. Worse, if wild animals, elephants included, ingest plastic, they develop a disease called plasticosis, which causes aggression, exacerbating human-wildlife conflict. However, a groundbreaking initiative is transforming the way we perceive and manage plastic waste. LA Collection, a local organization, has pioneered an innovative process that converts discarded plastic into durable building material called plastrock, in simpler terms, plastic concrete. This remarkable endeavor not only addresses the pressing issue of plastic pollution, but also contributes to a cleaner and healthier environment for both humans and wildlife.
As a tourist destination, we also have animals, and animals have been eating this plastic, and also it has been causing problems, diseases such as plasticosis, right? And it was causing some aggression in the animals, and it was causing human-wildlife conflict. So we thought, like, how could we solve this plastic problem in Victoria Falls? That's how we come up with this idea. Firstly, preserving the life wildlife. That means our animals, they won't have to eat this plastic that cause them to be aggressive. Also, there is environmental sustainability, you know, with the issues of climate change, you know, greenhouse gas emissions that are being caused by plastic, the burning of plastic. You know, when plastic is taken to the dump site, it's being burned, the smoke is released, we have cancers, we have kidney disease because of that smoke.
Apart from cleaning the environment, the project has also created jobs through plastic collectors, balers, and others.
So when the plastic is here, we separate it by type, hard and soft, right? Then we bale the plastic. After baling the plastic, we take it to our Plasrock machine. And it comes up with this aggregate, which is called Plasrock. If you mix this aggregate with cement, we come up with this. It's a lightweight concrete that is made from plastic. So this one is a lightweight. That's the first advantage, and also it's flexible compared to the usual concrete that we have. So it improves our building structures. We can shape it into whatever shape that we want to, unlike the usual concrete that we have.
The benefits of Plasrock are multifaceted, and the company can produce up to 100 tons of the building material per month and can collect plastic waste beyond Victoria Falls. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Impressive indeed. On that note, we take a break, but when we come back, we'll be letting you know what's buzzing in sport. Stay tuned.
Uchichaka kwekuyenda nekamarike kuspenda Zimbabwe, 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 travel Zimbabwe.
This Valentine's Day, gift your loved one an experience beyond words. Imagine strolling down the serene Binga Beach with your soulmate, listening to the waves of the lake hitting the shore, or exploring a charming hidden village, witnessing its beauty, experiencing traditional gastronomy, or simply savoring delicious meals in the heart of a bustling city, creating memories every step of the way. Nestled within the rugged heart of nature's splendor, your picnic unfurled upon a rocky outcrop, cradled between the sky and the earth, witnessing breathtaking sunsets together. This Valentine, travel with your special someone, discover new places, make memories, and fall in love all over again. Plan your romantic getaway now and let your heart lead the way. Travel and experience Zimbabwe this Valentine.
Zimbabwe, 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 everybody gets a call.
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or struggling with difficult emotions? Do you feel like giving up? No matter what you are going through, you don't have to carry that burden alone. The Ministry of Health and Childcare, together with its partners, brings you the Parirenyatwa Psychological Support Center to help you. Call our toll-free hotline 2024, where trained professionals are available to listen and offer confidential support, guidance, and coping strategies tailored to your needs without judgment. Your mental health is important, and we are committed to helping you navigate life's challenges with the support you deserve. Take the first step towards feeling better. Call 2024 today. Remember, you are not alone. Together, we can find a way forward. You deserve support in your journey to healing.
Are you a musically talented and creative person? Well, guess what? The University of Zimbabwe has now got you covered.
Music is that which imparts vitality to a society. A society without music is like a dead society.
Here at UZ,
We have tailor-made courses for you, the passionate musician that you are.
Talent without direction, useless.
Invest in your music by acquiring knowledge. That's professionalism.
Which is why the University of Zimbabwe's honors and African musicology degree seeks to nurture you and guide you into stardom.
It is so refreshing and encouraging that music is now being taught as a subject of instruction in universities, particularly the University of Zimbabwe.
To enroll, visit the University of Zimbabwe's website, www.uz.ac.zw.
Let the sound of the music of our heritage
echo beyond the confines of our boundaries.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We give you the sports buzz. The Zimbabwe national women's football team, the Mighty Warriors, have received a morale boost ahead of their Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers double-leg clash against Angola starting this coming Thursday.
Eyeing a berth on the continental stage, the Zimbabwe women's national football team will head to Angola oozing with confidence after reassurance from government, the Sport and Recreation Commission and the Zimbabwe Football Association. At a send-off ceremony for the Mighty Warriors held this Sunday at the ZESA National Training Center in Harare, the Minister of Sports, Art and Recreation, Honorable Kirsty Coventry, said government is prioritizing the development and success of women football.
We know that we've got some work to do when it comes to our facilities, and we're working hard to ensure that those facilities are going to be up to scratch. And I've already had conversations with the President on what that looks like in the future to make sure that we're playing football back on home turf. We know that's important not just for all of you, but for the people of our country.
Meanwhile, ZIFA President Ngobile Magwizi has challenged the team to prove its worth against its regional counterparts.
Every training session, every match, and every victory is a testament to what young women can achieve when given the right support and opportunities. As ZIFA, we remain steadfast in our commitment to capacitating our women both on and off the field.
The Mighty Warriors, who for the first time received training allowances while in camp, expressed their gratitude for the support.
Thank you, Minister, with all my heart for the opportunity of coming here today to see us off. Oh, I'm running out of words already. The support, the love, the care. I'm 100% sure that all of you are behind us and we feel so special.
The Mighty Warriors will depart for Angola this Monday ahead of their first leg set for this coming Thursday before hosting Angola at the Lucas Moripe Stadium in South Africa on the 26th of this month. Reynold Guarati, ZBC News, Harare.
And now from football to cricket, the touring island defeated Zimbabwean Chevrons by 6 wickets in the second one-day international series that took place at the Harare Sports Club today. Well, the win has leveled the visitors a lifeline as they leveled the series to 1-1. Let's hear more.
The visitors secured a convincing 6-wicket victory in the second one-day international fixture owing to impressive performances from Paul Sterling and Curtis Kempfer. After winning the toss, Ireland opted to bowl and their decision paid off as they restricted Zimbabwe to 245 runs all out in 49 overs. Wesley Madevere, who scored 61 runs, and Sikandar Raza, who weighed in with 58 runs, were the standout batsmen for Zimbabwe. Ireland's batting lineup, however, proved to be more than a match for Zimbabwe's total. Sterling and Kempfer formed a formidable partnership, putting on 144 runs for the second wicket. Kempfer's knock of 63 was particularly impressive as he provided the momentum Ireland needed to chase down the target. Although Trevor Ngwandu broke the partnership by dismissing Kempfer, Ireland maintained their composure and continued to push towards the target. Sterling remained unbeaten on 62, guiding his team to a convincing victory. The series now stands at 1-0 with the decider scheduled for Tuesday. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwean sprinter Mnangagwa Charamba won the Tiger Paw Invitational 200-meter indoor race in a national record of 20.16 seconds held at the United States of America's Clemson University Indoor Track and Field Complex in South Carolina this Saturday. Reynald Mbare gives us the details.
Zimbabwean athletes continue to showcase their mettle among the world's best in sport after 3 Zimbabweans shone on the international stage this Saturday. On the athletics front, it was Charamba who stole the limelight at the Tiger Paw Invitational in South Carolina in impressive 20.16 seconds, making him the fastest in the world this year. His time was enough to break the national 200 meters record and becomes the world's 8th fastest indoor time. Fellow Zimbabwean Tapiwa Makarawu, who finished second in the race, got his personal best of 20.31 seconds, the second fastest time at the event. In rugby, national team flanger Tino Tenda Mavesere was named the man of the match after a stellar individual performance that yoked Sharks to a 29-19 win over Bulls in the United Rugby Championship in Pretoria this Saturday night. The flanger was the game's top tackler and also scored the try which effectively took the game away from the Bulls to give the Sharks the edge en route to victory. With Sia Kolisi missing from the squad, Mavesere took full advantage to showcase his brilliance at the Loftus Vests field to overturn the fortunes for the Sharks to secure a crucial bonus point in the process. The Sharks have moved into 4th spot on the standings with Ireland's Leinster enjoying top spot on the International League. Reynald Ngwarati, ZBC News.
Sunday edition is off to a break. Stay with us for Showbiz coming up after this.
The Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage wishes to inform the public that the regulation and issuance of private security guard licenses is the responsibility of the controller, who is based at the ministry headquarters. The issuance is governed under the Private Investigators and Security Guards Act, Chapter 27. To this end, the ministry does not have any agents who facilitate the registration and issuance of security guard licenses. It has come to the attention of the ministry that there are some individuals and bogus companies who are misleading the public by claiming that they are agents of the ministry who can facilitate the issuance of private security guard licenses for companies that may want to venture into this enterprise. Please be informed that the ministry does not and has never engaged any individual or company to act on its behalf in the issuance of these licenses. Anyone who is purporting to be doing it on behalf of the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage is a fraudster who should be reported to the police so that the law may take its course. Please be guided accordingly. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage also wishes to advise companies that they are supposed to renew their licenses annually. Currently, renewal of licenses is underway and companies are encouraged to visit the controller at Mukwati Building, 20th floor, corner O Alatambo and 5th Street in Harare.
Yes guys, nasi ndafunga kwenda kumusha. Ndimbo spend time with family rangu. Damu ndapenda mu chicken bazi. Munoizere chicken bazi. Chicken bazi.
Ngoma joroga uya zwewe. Kwaye wakabva joni angonese jojedi. Vate vasina grocery.
Joro kumashops. Hayi obvious apana chaidzo kana joni nungo dziri vape ungazinze ngoro negrocery vape.
Anga vangozara manene.
Kuna chiri kuzo.
Ndavo ndaona mblazi mubazi. Anotaurisa munhu uyu.
Indonzi Lee.
Tats.
Yoruboko.
Australia.
Alright. Kana tiwazimuzwana kunana kutengesa unozimutsvaga zvantu.
Say.
Zatato hama kudai.
Okay, bro.
Acheni.
Alright. Do basi.
Ngoipenzi chikatsi.
Tats. Oh, tats. Guys, naona munhu achitengesa chibage and I haven't had chibage in maybe 10 years. Ndikati imari chibage munotora iko ke? Alright.
0773 426 300.
Alright. Yaita here.
Yaita, thank you.
Guys, chiri kunuwirira. Ndazosvika kumusha manje.
Joy after joy.
Welcome back. Straight into Showbiz. Zim dancehall chanter Freeman's Chawiriri is proving to be invincible, occupying the top spot on the Power FM Top 40 chart show for 6 consecutive weeks. Let's take a look.
It's arguably the longest hit song to occupy the Power FM chart show, ruling the roost for 6 weeks running. The triple threat of Freeman, Master H and Natty O have proved to be a powerful concoction of talent packaged in one song. So far, so good for this team. But there's Enzo Aishal and Madedido who are breathing hot on their necks with Attack My Japanese. Making the biggest waves in the Power FM Top 40 charts is Mtumwa by Toda, climbing from number 26 into the top 10 at number 6. Several new entries are already making waves with Focus on Me by Daku, debuting at number 12, and Masanzu by 96 at number 16.
Well, that's a wrap on the Sunday edition. From us here at Pocket Hill as well as Montrose, where Sibukele Maposa joined us on the edition. Tariona said note, we'll leave them watching the video of the week.
Indeed, and our video of the week is coming from Gemma Griffiths. It's titled Ndicha Tarisa, and this is in memory of those who lost their lives at the Bite Bridge, Latumba toll gate bus disaster. Have a good night.
Good night.
Chat
udokwa dokwa wemitauro yedu, zviperengo zvakanaka zvemitauro yedu.